Let's jump right into a story that is absolutely shaking up the sports world. I'm talking about Lamine Yamal. Now, if you follow European soccer, you already know this guy is a total superstar. But for everyone else, honestly, think LeBron James entering the NBA, but on a massive global scale. But what we're going to explore in this explainer goes so much deeper than just goals and assists. We're looking at a story about immigration, identity, and what it really means to carry your roots to the absolute highest levels of the global stage. It's about a cultural phenomenon who is completely redefining what a modern athlete looks like and how they represent their community.
Okay, to really understand the sheer scale of this phenomenon, you have to wrap your head around this number. 16 years and 362 days old. The night before his 17th birthday, literally the night before, Lamine Yamal stepped onto the pitch in the Euro 2024 semifinal and completely shattered a tournament age record. And not just any record either. He broke a record that had been held by the absolute legend Pelé since the 1958 World Cup. Seriously, imagine being a high school student and your homework for the night is breaking a record set by one of the greatest athletes in human history. It's just wild.
And, it wasn't just some lucky tap-in. He received the ball 25 yards out, shaped his left foot, and just beautifully curled it past the French national team. With that one strike, he cemented his status as the youngest goal scorer in European Championship history. But when reporters asked him about it later, his response was incredibly grounded. This wasn't arrogance at all. It was just the pure, unfiltered joy of a teenager living out his ultimate dream on international television.
But to actually understand this global superstar, we need to pivot away from the bright lights of those massive international stadiums and look at his grounded reality. Because every single time he scores, he crosses his arms and makes this very specific viral hand gesture with his fingers. It's a gesture that fans all over the world are now copying. So my question to you is, what exactly is 304?
Well, 304 isn't a random number. It's not a brand sponsor, and it's definitely not a secret code. It is 08304, the postal code for Rocafonda. This is a working-class neighborhood in Mataró, Catalonia, located about 20 miles north of Barcelona. And it's a place that source reports indicate has often been stigmatized in political rhetoric as a dangerous area, largely due to its high immigrant population. But for Yamal, it's home. By flashing those numbers on the world stage, he is taking a stigmatized zip code and turning it into an absolute badge of local pride.
The impact this is having on his community is just undeniable. Rocafonda is an area where nearly half the residents face the risk of poverty, and evictions are a harsh daily reality. But now, as you walk those streets, you see his face painted on murals outside local bakeries, and you see this really powerful phrase graffitied on the walls: "More Lamine Yamals, fewer evictions." Our sources show us how his success has become an incredibly powerful counter-narrative. It highlights multicultural integration and gives a massive sense of hope to a neighborhood that frequently feels forgotten.
And that hope is built on a foundation of incredible family sacrifice. Because Lamine Yamal's story doesn't start in some multi-million-dollar sports academy. It actually starts with his grandmother, Fatima. She journeyed all the way from Morocco to Spain, sneaking onto a bus, and eventually making her way to Mataró. Once she got there, she worked morning, afternoon, and night shifts, just to save enough money to bring Lamine's father over to Spain. This really grounds Yamal's story. He is a real kid who fought real battles, and his current success is built entirely on the immense grit and determination of his immigrant family. What's really fascinating here is how these diverse roots actually came together. His father emigrated from Morocco, and his mother emigrated from Equatorial Guinea. They met in Spain, and in those early years they raised Yamal in a residence for young parents where meals were provided for them. And even after his parents separated when he was just 3 years old, they remained deeply, deeply involved in his life. His father would take him on these grueling 90-minute train rides from Rocafonda to Barcelona's training academy. It was a true family effort spanning 2 continents, entirely focused on one single dream.
But as if this story didn't already have enough incredible elements, there is a wild twist of fate that honestly feels scripted. Back in 2007, Barcelona and UNICEF held a charity calendar photo shoot. In a completely bizarre stroke of destiny, a 5-month-old baby was randomly chosen to be photographed getting bathed by a shy teenage player who was just starting his own career. That teenager was Lionel Messi, and that baby was Lamine Yamal. It's an image that recently completely broke the internet and honestly kind of makes you believe in destiny.
And wow, Yamal certainly lived up to that early blessing. Let's rapid fire through these athletic milestones, because he is literally shattering the record books right now.
He's the youngest player to debut for Barcelona's first team since 1922, the youngest goal scorer in the entire history of La Liga, which is Spain's top division, the youngest player and goal scorer for the Spanish national team, and of course, the youngest player ever to win the UEFA European Championship. He is checking off these massive, history-making, career-defining achievements, and remember, he hasn't even finished high school yet.
And his stats brilliantly illustrate exactly why people are calling him a true generational talent. When you stack him up against the all-time greats, the numbers are just staggering. At age 17, Cristiano Ronaldo had 19 appearances and 9 goal contributions. Lionel Messi at that age, 9 appearances and just 1 goal. Lamine Yamal, 100 appearances, 22 goals, and 33 assists. The numbers absolutely speak for themselves. It proves that the hype is 100% real. His output at this age is completely unprecedented in modern football.
Yet, through all of this totally unprecedented fame, he flat out refuses to forget where he came from. Even though he represents the Spanish national team, Yamal literally carries his roots on his feet. He wears these custom Adidas boots that feature the flag of Spain, alongside the flag of Morocco for his father, and the flag of Equatorial Guinea for his mother. Actually, fun fact, both of those African nations tried to recruit him to play for them. And finally, stitched right next to those flags is the number 34. Yep, the end of that 08304 zip code we decoded earlier. So he is constantly repping Rocafonda with every single step he takes on the pitch.
Now, as he matures, his on-field genius is evolving too. Barcelona's coach, Hansi Flick, is already starting to redefine Yamal's role. He originally made his name as a totally devastating winger on the right flank, but Flick has recently deployed him centrally as a number 10, which is essentially the quarterback of the soccer field. Moving him to the center reduces his defensive running, conserves his energy, and puts him much closer to the goal, where his telepathic playmaking can be even more dangerous.
And let me tell you, the digital culture around this shift is absolutely electric. Fans are going wild over this tactical evolution. People are actually calling it the most important tactical discovery since Messi played as a false 9. Fans recognize they are watching the real-time evolution of a player who simply cannot be defended against. I mean, how do you even mark a player like this? The rivals are definitely cooked.
But hey, amidst the Ballon d'Or nominations, the deep tactical breakdowns, and the massive global superstardom, we have to remember who we are actually talking about here. Just recently, a woman in Barcelona asked Yamal to take a photo of her and her friends, entirely not realizing who he was, and then she casually asked for his name. With a cheeky smile, he told her his name was Ryan. And when she didn't believe him, he doubled down on the fake name. It's such a hilarious, relatable anecdote that reminds us that underneath the whole superstar persona, he is still just a teenager, a kid who loves playing PlayStation, eating sweets late at night, and just having a bit of innocent fun.
And that really brings us to the core of this explainer. Lamine Yamal's superpower isn't just his incredibly gifted left foot, it's his deep, unshakable connection to his identity. He draws real strength from his family's sacrifices, from the Moroccan and Equatorial Guinean flags on his boots, and from the 08304 zip code of Rocafonda. He is literally carrying his community with him to the top of the world. So my challenge to you today is this. What is your 304? Find it, own it, and use it as your ultimate superpower to reach your own summits.